Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name's Justin Greenewalt. Today I want to take a second to compare two microphones that have no business being compared against each other. The Rode VideoMic Pro versus the Shure SM7B. They are different kinds of microphones and different price points, but I feel like they're worth comparing because if you're a regular YouTuber like me, you're not in some sort of perfect booth. Okay, I'm in a basement right here. And a lot of times when you see reviews of the Shure SM7B or the Rode VideoMic Pro, they're always in some sort of perfect booth. And I wanted to show you what these microphones sound like in a basement. And I want to compare two different categories because not many people will make a video comparing these two choices. But there's a lot of YouTubers that first, before they can decide what particular kind of microphone they should buy for $100 or $500, before they can do that, they have to choose between the three main categories. You have lapels, you have shotgun microphones, and then you have the voiceover style microphones. And so I just wanted to make this a very simple video from a non-expert point of view. So let's talk about the pros and cons of the Rode VideoMic Pro from my experience. I've owned this one for years and I haven't owned this one for quite as long. I think I've been recording with this one for maybe 6 hours, and this one probably has hundreds of hours of me using it. So it's been used a long time. And the battery is still rock solid, in case you're wondering about that. The Rode VideoMic Pro is awesome because number one, it's not that expensive. Also, it has a built-in shock. It's got a built-in gain, so you can go plus 20 or negative 20. And the reason why that's useful is that I'm plugging this straight into my Canon camera. Everybody knows that the preamps inside of Canon cameras is pretty bad. So you go plus 20 dB on this, straight into your Canon camera, and then you lower the internal gain of the Canon camera down to like 1 or 2 notches above zero. And now you have a very low noise, nice sounding audio signal. Now, of course, this is not a perfect comparison because I'm comparing this going into a Canon camera versus this going into a Sound Devices audio interface. But whatever, the point of this video is that it's not a fair comparison. I also like the fact that this will turn off the moment that you shut off your camera, and it will turn back on when your camera turns back on. The battery life in just one charge will last you months, even if you use it quite a bit. Also, because it's a shotgun microphone, you have it out of frame, it's not clogging up the image. Even though we've gotten used to this, it is a cleaner image if a microphone isn't in frame. The number one downside for me is that while it does sound better if you get it like close to your mouth like this, yeah, sure, it sounds better, and you can do voiceover stuff with this if you're in a room doing like a voiceover for history videos or whatever, but look at how this looks versus how this looks. To me, at least, in my mind, this looks ugly when it's in the camera frame. This one looks professional because we're used to seeing it on like the Joe Rogan podcast or any number, hundreds of podcasts use this microphone. It's a very popular microphone. So is this one, but we're not used to seeing it on camera, and the shape of the microphone, for some reason, it looks ugly on camera. So while yes, it sounds better the closer it is to my mouth, it just doesn't look good on camera. And I know that sounds dumb. If you're an audio expert, maybe you don't care about how a microphone looks on camera. But I'm a regular guy. I do care how the image looks, and it doesn't look good when that is right next to my face. I've just used this everywhere. I like how I can put it on top of the camera with the mount. It's just beautiful. I love having this microphone. I will continue to use it. But I'm probably switching over to this one. Here's the reason why, and I'm not trying to convince you to buy this. I'm just showing you the differences between them in a very bad audio environment. I'm plugging this one into a Sound Devices Mix Pre 3 audio interface. I don't need a cloud lifter. I've got this set to 3/4 volume, and the gain sounds really nice. It's very low noise. Let me show you the noise difference between these two microphones, by the way. Now, of course, I haven't really edited the video yet, so I can't say for sure. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but I don't think the noise floor on either of these microphones is a problem. Now, what about downsides? This thing, it does have a lot of plosive potential. So you have to hold back when you're saying any word with the letter P inside of it. Either that, or you have to speak a little bit to the side of it, or have a thicker windscreen. That's what I have. There's two windscreens that come in the box, this larger one and the more flush version of it that you'll see most people use. I'd rather get rid of more of the plosive and have a thicker windscreen on it, even though it looks slightly more ugly. Another thing is that you do need to have an audio interface. That's a downside because that's an extra cost. It's not quite as seamless as recording with something that you can mount on top of the camera or have on a boom arm right next to you. So there is a little more work that gets involved when you use a voiceover microphone like a Shure SM7B. But it just sounds so nice. And the great thing about this is that while it is a darker microphone, you'll hear that in the reviews, dark, you can EQ it however you want. You can make your voice sound really, really bright in the EQ, or you can make it sound really, really flat and just a little bit natural. It's a little bit muted sounding in its natural form. Or you can do different compression settings. Like inside of Adobe Premiere Pro, if you set it to broadcast and you start increasing the gain, all of a sudden you'll get like this football announcer or a radio guy, punchiness to it. You can do whatever you want. It's a very flexible microphone. With this Rode VideoMic Pro, I can EQ it and remove some bad frequencies and use compression and stuff, but I'm more limited on how I can shape the sound because this is so even and it's just a blank slate. It's a blank slate. You can make your voice sound however you want with this microphone because you're starting from a really good place. It's more work, it's more expensive, but that's why I like having voiceover microphones in a noisy acoustic environment like this. Now, of course, I'm not here to tell you what to buy. I am here to tell you that I prefer this one, and you should go do more research, go listen to actual experts, not just some random guy on YouTube that has an opinion on microphones. Go watch Podcast Stage and Booth Junkies and that Curtis channel. Those guys really know their stuff. They are amazing audio professionals. By the way, my opinion is tainted. I just bought this thing recently. I've been using it for like 6 hours and I love the way it sounds. So I do have that sort of new gear syndrome. I'll just give you that right out the gate. That is one of the reasons why I like it so much. Go buy whatever the heck you want. Use this video as a starting point. Go watch some actual experts. That's the end of the video. See you guys in a few.